orange chicken is not a combination of words I thought I'd ever say, but here we are. As someone who isn't American and rarely eats at Chinese restaurants, this dish was a total mystery to me until recently. What I am familiar with, however, is egg fried rice. Well, I've never actually made it, but I know what it is. So today we're diving into the deep end with two things I have absolutely no idea how to cook. This should be fun. Let's start with the rice. Egg fried rice requires day-old rice to come out nicely. I'm using Jasmine rice because the internet told me to, so you should probably do the same. Give it a quick rinse and into a pot it goes. I'm using 1 cup of rice, so I'm adding a cup and a half of water. I've always been taught to use a 1:2 ratio for rice, but apparently doing that with Jasmine rice just gives you a pot of absolute mush. So we are learning and growing today. Season with a generous pinch of salt and give it a stir. No gas stove? Here's the electric workaround. Heat one hob to medium-low. Put your cold pot on a second hob at medium-high for 8 minutes until it lightly boils. When it gets there, instantly slide it to the lower hob, slap a lid on and cook for 15. Then take it off the heat to rest for 10. Cooking on gas? Just drop the heat. Got a rice cooker? Use it and save yourself the stress. Once it's done resting, chuck it in a container or all over your counter and leave it in the fridge overnight. New day, new me. Well, no actually. Let's make some fried rice. Cut, peel and finely dice 2 shallots. A garlic clove is about to meet the same fate. Now for the green onion. I'll use the white parts to cook in and set the greens aside for later. One more mincing sesh and we're done with the veg for now. Go into the wok with a generous amount of oil, scramble an egg and chuck it in. You only need to cook this for about 30 seconds, any longer and it turns into a rubber eraser. Set it aside on a plate, add a bit more oil and cook the veg until fragrant. Now, the star of the show makes its appearance. Rice goes in, followed by the egg. I pour whatever soy sauce I have left around the outside and stir until everything is combined and the grains aren't clumping. And I'll add a pinch of MSG so I don't disappoint certain people. To round it all out, a generous drizzle of sesame oil. Take it off the heat, dice the green parts of the onion, throw them in for a quick stir, and it's time to plate. If you want to be fancy, do what I'm about to do. Pack as much rice as you can into a small bowl and press it down so it holds its shape. Flip it onto a plate, give it a few good smacks with a wooden spoon to knock it loose, and voila! Egg fried rice. Please don't show this to Uncle Roger. Anyway, let's get on with the chicken. Well, actually, first the batter. Well, actually no. First, let's clarify a few things. This is what I call corn flour. It's fine, it's soft, and it's yellow. This is cornmeal. It's coarse, it's crunchy, and it's also yellow. This is corn starch. It's fine, it's soft, and it's white. Because different countries call these 3 things by different names, I got a bit confused, so instead of using cornstarch for my batter, I used corn flour. But it's fine. You, my dear viewer, can now learn from my mistakes. You're welcome. So I add the wrong ingredient to my bowl along with regular flour and half a teaspoon of baking powder. Then half a cup of water. I start mixing. Not enough. Another half a cup. Nope. Another half a cup? Surely this time. In the end, I use 2 whole cups. You live and you learn. Or rather, I live and you learn from my suffering. I mix it with my hand for whatever reason. Just use a whisk like a normal person. Oh, would you look at that, I came to my senses. Batter done, let's set it aside and turn our attention to the chicken. This is where the real fun begins. I cut the chicken into bite-sized chunks, toss it in the batter and give it a quick mix for an even coat. And then I try to shallow fry it. Bad idea. The batter basically falls off entirely and I have to flip the pieces because, well, shallow frying can't cook the whole thing at once. This is the exact moment I decided to transfer the whole spectacle to a pot. My logic, a smaller surface area means the oil will sit higher, magically transforming shallow frying into deep frying. Right? Wrong. The oil still wasn't deep enough, but it's fine. The first batch actually comes out looking pretty decent, considering what it's been through. Emboldened by this mild success, I try another batch. and blinded by my own hubris, I drop 2 batches in at once. The result? Oil at half the temperature it should be and chicken with 0 batter left on it. Lovely. Can you tell I never deep fry things? Once I realize it's not getting any better, I fish the chicken out and discover all the batter has cemented itself to the bottom of the pot. Great. I grab a new pot, open a new bottle of oil and pour the whole thing in. No risks this time. I actually wait for the oil to get up to temperature. Because it's still not that deep, I tilt the pot to one side to pour the hot oil, dip the chicken in for a few seconds to set the batter, and then scrape it off the spatula. When it comes out, you can clearly see the difference between doing whatever the hell I was doing before and doing it properly. I do another batch, it turns out great. And then, because of my god-given hubris, I once again decide to do 2 batches at the same time.
What are you? An idiot sandwich.
Alright, all the chicken is out, let's review what we did right and where it all went terribly wrong. Batch 1, single, deep fry, high temp. Looks nice, golden and crispy. So far so good. Batch 2, double, shallow fry, low temp. Batch 3, double, deep fry, high temp. Looks alright, albeit not as good as the single batch. After watching me complete a masterclass in what not to do, let's summarize what you're actually supposed to do. Use plenty of oil, get it to the right temperature, which in this case is around 175 degrees, fry in single batches or your oil will cool down and you'll have a terrible time. Oh, and fry your chicken for about 4 to 5 minutes. With all that said, let's get to the sauce. I zest and juice 2 entire oranges, add a few tablespoons of soy sauce, ginger, chili flakes, and a whole lot of sugar. In hindsight, I would not add any sugar to this at all. It was just way too sweet. To be fair, I've cut most refined sugar from my day-to-day, so I might be overly sensitive. But I highly recommend you either skip the sugar entirely or start with half the amount I used. Okay, lecture over. I mix and set aside. Another set of garlic and green onions graces us with their presence. Mince the garlic, dice the whites, dice the greens and set aside. Next, pour some oil in a pot and throw the onion whites inside, only for them to instantly turn into charcoal, because the oil was boiling hot. In hindsight, the clouds of smoke rolling off the pot probably should have been a red flag. Ideally, you want your hob at medium when sauteing veg. Otherwise, you're fishing out burnt chunks like me. I think at this point you can see why this channel is called I Can't. But I'm nothing if not persistent. The garlic goes in, back on the heat until fragrant. The orange mixture goes in and I bring the whole thing to a simmer. Once bubbling, combine your cornstarch with water, pour it in and mix. After a minute or two, your sauce will thicken. That's when you add your chicken and toss to combine. Well, you do that. My pot is too small, so I have to transfer it to a massive bowl just to mix it. Serve and garnish with your onion greens. All in all, it didn't turn out too bad despite everything we went through, but like I said, just too sweet for me. So after all that effort, it pains me, but I have to give the chicken a Hiya out of 10. The rice on the other hand was quite nice, no real complaints there, so thankfully I can give it a Fuyo. And on that note, I need to go lie down. Thank you all for watching, remember to comment, subscribe, and maybe even share the video with a friend. And I'll see you in a bit.